OST 2016. This is interviews, music reviews, and more. This is The Hodder Show.
We're here doing an exclusive first listen through of Seagrave's badass new track, Onslaught. And of course, we're going to be joined here today to learn a little bit more about the single before we hear it from the vocalist of the band, my boy Chris. Chris, what's up, man? It's good to see you.
Hey, bro. Thanks for having me back. It's got to be a record at this point. Like, fuck. We're like 7 episodes or something I think I've done.
Yeah, you're getting there. And this is also the second time that you've been a part of a first time ever, because I've never just done I've had singles that people gave me an exclusive first listen to that was like in an interview,
right?
But not just like a standalone episode. Hey, this is the episode. We're just doing this. We're just talking about the single. This is exciting, man, because you were a part of the first 5 questions with,
right? Yeah,
which was a fun little thing I tried there. And so it's like, it's very fitting to have you do this with me.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm always down. You know me. I'm down all the time for us to do shit. Anytime you hit me up or I hit you up, like we always end up making it work. Like shit, we threw this together an hour ago.
Literally. It was like, oh, we're trying to make this work. And just, my schedule's been just fucking wild the last few weeks. So it was like, oh, let's try and make this work. And it was like, oh, I'm like, what time are you up until?
Yeah,
let's make this work.
I'll sacrifice some sleep for it. It's fun.
Same here, man. Same here. I don't even give a shit. I got to be up in like 4 hours. I don't even care.
Oof.
But we have a lot to talk about because obviously it goes without saying, folks, you're going to hear the new single Onslaught in a little bit because we got some shit to talk first, because a lot has happened with Seagrave since I had you and Stiv on, which was, I think, a few months ago now. A lot has gone down. There's been some lineup changes, some new additions, dare I say, a slight tweak on a what was already a badass sound. Walk me through kind of what's been going on with you guys as far as with the lineup changes and that.
Yeah, man. So last time Stiv and I were on would have been, let's see, we put Butchered out in March of 2022, or sorry, May. So it would have been just after that Stiv and I were on. I don't think it was long after that. So yeah, we had quite a few lineup changes. I mean, we kicked out our one guitar player, then we found another, then we parted ways with our vocalist, which was very amicable. It was not bad blood there at all. So then I moved over to vocals. The next guitar player we found moved to bass, and we had to let him go. And, then we were just kind of a MacBook bass play band for a while, which was interesting. I mean, we made it work. And then, yeah, thankfully, we got Ali from Out of My League, which, we couldn't be happier to have him on board. He's been an absolute fucking gem to bring in, and, he goes hard with everything he does. So to have him on the Seagrave team has been just fucking great.
And that's a very logical step. We're playing with a MacBook Pro. Well, let's get fucking Ali Bide, who in his own right, I'll be the one to say it, is like a local fucking legend, having played with Out of My League. I'll say it. I think he is.
Yeah,
so
no, 100%.
I
agree.
I told you this already, but like, you have no idea, man. Like, I saw Ali kind of getting back into playing bass and doing little cover videos and stuff. And then I think I saw him get whatever bass it was that he's using for Seagrave, because it's designed for that kind of stuff. It's designed for that down tune. I can't remember what it is.
It's he had a Jackson 5, but he actually just bought a Music Man for us.
Yeah, that's badass. But I think I saw him do that, and I can't remember. Like, I saw him like post about something to do with tuning down or whatever, and I was kind of like, I thought that was it struck me as a little odd, because I keep up with people, right? Even if I don't always talk, like,
right.
I don't think I've talked to Ali since the gigs days, really, aside from a few messages here and there. But like, I saw that, and then when I saw you guys post, I guess it was a picture of him on stage with you. I can tell you exactly where I was, because I was at work walking down a hall.
Right.
And I just started losing my shit because I was so excited. And I messaged you immediately. And I was like, bro, like, Ali, holy shit.
Yeah, no, it was a good transition, man. And you know, and through all of that mess of lineup changes too, like we didn't cancel any shows. Like we were playing like 2 shows a month. You know, we kept it going. Also why it took us so long to get music out, which is why we're here today for the exclusive first listen. You guys will get to hear Onslaught a few days before it's out on Monday. So we're very happy to and thankful to you, man, for letting us do this. Because
dude, it's my pleasure. I'm just excited. I'm just as excited as anybody. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. This is selfish because I want to fucking hear it. So
yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't probably the fucking dirtiest thing I've done. You know, not even just vocally, just to be a part of. I mixed and mastered this one too. Same with Butchered that we put out, but I'd be lying if I said Butchered was any better than this. Like, this is definitely the best mix I've done personally. So I'm really stoked for people to hear it, because I think like we've built a great following in a very short time from all the shows we played. And you know, people know us for being heavy and just brutal, but I think even being known for that, this single is still gonna like kind of take your breath away a little bit, especially at some certain parts.
And that's what I expect. And I think it's interesting because I would see videos. There was one you posted fairly recently of Ali like tracking his bass, and like just, you guys have been really killing it with content. Obviously the shows and that, like, that goes without saying, but you guys have really been putting in the work. And I have to commend you on that, because a lot of bands, like, they don't really understand that, like, in this day and age, you also kind of have to be a content creator. Like
100%.
You don't really have a choice. You kind of have to do both. And your TikTok game has always been on point, so to speak. But
yeah, no, I took over doing our socials probably back in, I don't know when that was, I guess like September or so. And it took me a while to kind of navigate and figure out like kind of what I wanted to do with it and where I wanted to go with it. But yeah, lately it's just been, you know, I try my best to post every day for us. You know, the other guys help out too. I can't say that it's 100% me. Like, they'll send me shit and be like, hey, you know, post this, or they'll put together a video or something. But yeah, no, it's been fun for me. I like, you know me, I enjoy doing that shit. You know, anybody who knows me or follows me knows I'm a bit of a social media whore. So for me to be able to do that for the band, it's just, it fits, you know.
Bro, I look forward to your elevator shots every day. I wake up and I'm just like, man, I wonder what Chris is wearing today. That's my first thought every morning.
But yeah, no, so it's been fun, man. Mm-hmm. I enjoy doing it, and yeah, 100%, dude. I think that's an aspect a lot of bands fall off on. You know, you can play all the shows and put out all the music you want, but if you're only posting on socials, like, you know, once every couple weeks, once a month, whatever, like you're not fucking doing what you need to be doing if it's something that you want to take serious. I see it even with shows too. Like, bands will have a show coming up, and it's like, dude, I didn't even know you were playing because you guys posted it like once.
Right. It's putting in the work, but also I think it's the excitement, and what I'm seeing with you guys is just this. I obviously we've known each other since I think like 2017 or so, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, somewhere.
So I've seen you throughout a couple of different bands, a few different projects. I get the feeling, your solo stuff maybe is one of the only other things that I compare, but I get the feeling that there's this excitement that you have that is just like, I get the feeling like you're almost more excited about this than you have been anything. Would that be correct to say?
Yeah, no, I would agree with you 100%, dude. I think it was kind of a mix of things. It's just kind of, you know, not to sound super cliche, but just kind of like the stars aligned when it comes to Seagrave. Just in the sense that, you know, I really enjoy the music that we make. You know, it's brutal, it's heavy, but still a little bit catchy. On top of that, just the fact that like all of the guys, like me, Ali, Doug, and Stiv, like we all just mesh and work so well together. Like we're all always about hearing each other's ideas out and, working with each other. No one's very much like it's my way or the highway at all. Like, it's very much a democracy. Everyone has their input. Everyone has ideas. Doesn't necessarily mean we do all of them, but, no one's afraid either to be like, yeah, you know what? I don't know about that. And when that does happen, like, no one gets butthurt about it, and so we work amazing together. That mixed with, like I said, I enjoy the music we put out, mixed with, me switching careers. So I actually have the time to put to a band now. And then obviously just the reception we've gotten. Like, I'm not trying to say that we're like, crazy big or anything like that, but even the following that we've built in the past like 6-7 months, from playing shows and literally not having any music out except one single that's like not even the same lineup anymore, is like pretty wild, to be honest. Like, our shows have been getting pretty fucking crazy, and it's been awesome to see. And we just hope it keeps building. Our next show, we're playing our first hometown show next week, January 21st at the Atria. Everybody come out if you can. I know that, being a band from Oshawa, people might think, well, whatever, if I miss them this time, like, they're from Oshawa, they'll play Oshawa like, every month or two. But I can tell you that that's not the case. With Seagrave, we do not plan to just be a home base, stay in Oshawa kind of thing. We've been doing shows real heavy, like twice a month for 7-8 months now, and this is the first Oshawa show. So that should tell you right there that, you're not just gonna see us at the Atria every other week like some of my older projects and stuff.
What I think people need to understand is that you guys you're coming. You're ready for war. You're ready for a fucking onslaught, man. That's what's happening. And I think we have some more shit to talk for sure about the single and that, but I think we have teased the people long enough. It's time for you guys to hear right here on the Hotter Show, first exclusive listen. And thank you very much again for that, brother. I appreciate this.
No problem.
We have for you Seagrave's brand new single coming out Monday,
January 16th.
January 16th. Thank you very much. I didn't have the fucking date pulled up, of course. Crank it the fuck up. This is Seagrave's brand new single, Onslaught. And then we're going to come back with Chris and talk some more shit. Enjoy, guys. Holy shit. Let me just pick myself off the floor here. So you just heard exclusive first listen anywhere in the world of Seagrave's brand new single, Onslaught. And of course, I'm here with Chris, who's the vocalist and producer of Seagrave. Dude, I think just to kind of serve the ball to you here, I think the thing that struck me the most about the first even 10 seconds of the song is when it starts and we have that really cool kind of fade in, you hit us with kind of your more like mid-rangey scream that we're kind of used to hearing from you. And I was like, oh, the melody is kind of going to go this way. And then you just fucking, I don't even know how to explain. I would say an uppercut, but it's not even that. It's like you basically just like, I literally don't even have a sentence to explain it, but it was
just hits you out of nowhere.
It was out of left field, but in the best way. And even like me, I was like, holy fuck. It's just overall, I think I've heard you say before that Seagrave is like, just like, if this song doesn't make you want to like murder people, you haven't done your job. And
100%.
I think,
that's Seagrave's goal, man. Like, we just want to make the heaviest, dirtiest caveman shit you've ever heard. And I think we definitely achieved that with Onslaught. And we're really excited. Some of the other songs we have too that we're going to be releasing are fucking just as nuts as far as brutality. I mean, one thing that I wanted to do personally with Seagrave is, you know, a lot of bands that kind of follow the same sort of sound as Seagrave, they more fall into like the, you know, traditional deathcore style vocals with, especially now, like ever since Lorna Shore blew up, like everyone just wants to do like Will Ramos type vocals. And don't get me wrong, that stuff's awesome. And, you know, I wish I could do some of that shit. But I just wanted Seagrave to sound different vocally. That's why, you know, I still throw in highs and gutturals and lows in there, but I mostly keep it in that kind of mid-range that you know me for. And in ways, if it, like, it may sound weird, but in ways I actually kind of find that makes it hit a little harder.
It does. I think you're so used to hearing, especially like myself, like I'm not as much of a fan of that really low guttural stuff as much as I am that kind of mid-range. Like I've said to you a million times, that's why you're one of my favorite fucking metal vocalists, because you sit in that pocket so well. But to still hear you just go super just dirty, it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I had a lot of fun, you know, writing the vocals for that. And you know, Stiv and Ali had some really good ideas too. Like Stiv engineered tracking vocals for me because I hate doing it myself, because it kind of takes you out of the zone when you're like, you know, do a line, running back to your computer, fucking around and editing, and then going back and doing another line. Like, completely takes you out of the creative kind of mind space. So having Stiv do that was great, because it also made me get better performances out. And then him and Ali being there in the room with me too, like they had some awesome ideas for you know, vocals and ways to phrase stuff. And like I said, we're a really open band, so, you know, I did them, you know, they ended up sounding awesome. Like that one, you know, the gang vocal part, Keep Up or Be Devoured, after that, when I go into that high and it kind of cuts out and it almost sounds like a DJ, right? Like it's like da 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 da. You know, that was like Ali's idea, and like that sounds sick as fuck. Sounds almost like a record scratch with vocals. Like,
you guys have a lot of different styles of vocals and things, and like transitions mixed in, which makes it interesting. It's not just, with all due respect to the people who keep it really basic of like the kind of death metal, deathcore style, like it's cool to hear different elements brought in. And when you've got also couple guys who are younger than you as well. Let's be real about it.
Oh yeah, for
They're
sure.
going to see things differently, right?
100%.
Like they're going to have different ideas, and they grew up listening to different stuff than we did, you know, like
For sure.
they're going to see things differently. And I think that brings a lot of really interesting elements to the table. And you hear it with this, like there's so much going on in this track. How did this track come to be? Like, does it start with a riff? Did Steve come to you with a riff, or how did it come to be?
So they've actually been playing this song. So for those who don't know, like Seagrave used to be called Sunnyvale, and they were a band for quite a while. So Onslaught is actually one of the old Sunnyvale tracks. Like this song has been around for probably 4 years. But you know, we took it and we kind of just, you know, we were playing it the same forever. And then when Steve and I sat down to like track the guitars for it, we changed a couple little things up here and there, and then we sat down another day and we wrote all the like backing stuff to it, like all the strings and orchestral and piano and all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, it just kind of built from there. I mean, it bare bones, it's pretty much the same as it's been for the last 4 years. But you know, we just really spiced it up and took it to the level I think it needed to be kind of single worthy, if that makes sense.
You added some blue cheese, you know, maybe a little glaze, maybe a little twice baked potato on the sides, you know, whatever. You just
but we just, you know, like I said, that's the great part about us too, is, you know, because everyone in the band is so open to each other's ideas, like we got to do some really cool things that you wouldn't expect. Like there's a part in that song Ali's doing all slap bass.
Yes. Which is so cool. I was like, is this corn? What's going on? What happened?
Yeah, like there's a part in there where he's doing all just slap bass, and it was funny because it happened completely organic. You know, we're sitting here tracking, and just in between takes, he started like playing that riff as a slap, and I was like, yo, that sounds sick. Hold on. And then we went back and like, I was like, just try it. And then we tried it and it made it hit so much harder. It's the part during the gang vocal part, the dan, 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 like he's slapping that whole part.
It's so fascinating what can go into something like that, because you may not even necessarily hear it until you go back through and listen to it a couple of times, and you're like, oh fuck, okay. Like,
no, but you know the difference in like when we were tracking, right? Like the difference in hearing him slap it as opposed to pick that part was like huge. Like just made it pop so much more.
It's something I personally love in music, and nothing gets me more hyped for a song than when I pick out a part that like the average listener may not catch that.
Right.
It's the parts that if it wasn't there, the song, or if it was played differently, the song would just not be the same. Right? Like there are these little parts that you don't notice. Maybe it's a fourth guitar track in the background that's playing the same riff but like at half speed or something, or like little things like that, or a little offshoot lead part that you don't know it's really there, but if it's not there, it's just kind of fill things in, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of parts in the song, like you know, when we have our backing tracks live, like a lot of that orchestral is like a lot louder. But in the mix, like I kind of put a lot more in the background. Like you don't really notice a lot of it unless you really listen. But like there's orchestral through most of that song. You just don't notice it. But if I take it out, you would notice it because it doesn't fill it out as much.
Yeah, it's a coloring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of just doing like back harmonies almost.
How excited are you to, I mean, obviously I know you guys are already playing shows, but to drop this single, this is new lineup. Yeah, it's a song maybe that you guys have been playing, but it's this new version of it. How excited are you just for people to hear this and just finally to be able to like, hey guys, you have all the support. Here's the song. Go check it out. How excited are you for that?
I can't fucking wait. And the guys are pumped too. Like the group chat's been going back and forth for the last, few days since I finished mastering it. Just being like, oh my God, like I can't stop listening to it. Like I can't fucking wait for people to hear this shit. Because like I said, we put Butchered out back in May, and it's not even the same lineup or same vocalist anymore. So, and it sucks because that was the only track we had out. So, anytime people would be like, oh, like, what's your band? Like, let me check out your band or whatever. And I'm like, then you got to go into like that shitty explanation, be like, well, here's our Spotify, but like, it's not the same and blah, blah, blah. And so to finally have something out that's like us, feels great. And I can't fucking wait. I mean, to be honest, even like, I can't even wait for the next shit that we have, because the next shit that we have is like fully like ours. Like, it's not a song that was old that we kind of retooled. It's like fully all of us together on it, like collaborative. So that stuff is going to be really fucking awesome. But yeah, just to have something out, and the timing couldn't have worked better either. Like, we finished up the track. We have our first hometown show like 5 days after we put it out. And then to be able to do this with you a few days before the single even drops, like it's all lining up really nice, and I think it'll be good, hopefully.
I mean, I can assure you it's going to be, because people are going to lose their shit when they hear this. And
I've definitely had
not just this. Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely had a few people I sent it to be like, oh my God.
It's not like when I heard Butchered, I was like, okay, like, yeah, this is heavy, and it's, but I think maybe it's because it's you, and the last thing I heard you put out,
biased, but
yeah. So like, I was like, when I heard that, like the fact that there are parts in it that like even like shocked me, well, I was like, holy shit, like that's cool. Like it's a cool feeling, when it's just like, and same with, I was telling you before, like I think of Ali, and like I remember him, 13, 14 years old, maybe not that young. Maybe he was like, I'm remembering him as like a youth, and he was probably like 15 or 16 coming into gigs, taking bass lessons. You know what I mean? Like, and even back then, man, he had something. And now to see, obviously seeing him do Out of My League, and then now seeing him with you, someone I have so much respect for with your musical journey, and that, like, it's cool to see. And then same with Stiv, like, again, someone who I saw at the Battle of the Bands probably fucking 10 years ago play his first show.
Even with me with Stiv, dude, like, when I was in North Shore, we played tons of shows with Embodier.
Yeah.
They opened for us like all the fucking time, and never in a million years would I have thought I'd be in a band with Stiv, but it just worked out like that, and I'm super happy it did. Stiv and I especially, like, we just work so fucking well together in the studio. Like, when him and I are together, it's just magic happens. You end up the problem is, though, we're almost a little too picky, to where it's like, for example, like Onslaught, like, oh my God, I think we retracked the guitars for that like 4 times, because like we'd be like, oh, I want to add this, or like one of them was like, we tracked it and then he got a new pickup put in his guitar, and I was like, okay, but it sounds better now, so like we should probably retrack it. And then he did, and then he was like, but then he got a setup done, so it was like, okay, but now it sounds better, so we should probably do it again. So then we did it again, and then he was like, oh, but now I actually fucked with my tone and it sounds way better, so I'm gonna redo it. And just, we're a little too picky for our own good. Probably
it never ends, does it? It's
no.
Yeah, I could.
But I mean, it worked, right? Because like Onslaught ended up sounding fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. So like the main thing I always hear from people too is just the fact that we can get such good clarity considering we're insanely low tuned.
That's something that from day one of Seagrave, and also just of Stiv's playing, like, I'm always just, it amazes me. I'm like, I don't know how I can hear any notation. Yeah. Like, and I'm a baritone guy. Like, I love my low tunings and stuff, but like, what are you guys playing in now? Like drop F or something? Like what?
Oh, it's lower than that.
Jesus.
So it's like, for those of you who don't know, so we play in C sharp, but a full octave down. But the bass is in normal C sharp. If that makes sense,
because you wouldn't even be able to play it if it was lower.
Exactly, right. So like, when you're tuned normally with a bass and guitar, right, like the bass sits an octave below the guitar, even if they're in the same tuning. So basically with us though, it's kind of flipped in a way. So the bass is tuned an octave up from the guitar. So they basically actually just sit in the same octave because the bass is naturally an octave lower. So the bass and guitar sit at the same octave, and that's really what gives Seagrave like that sound. Like, you know, you hear our guitars ring out and it just sounds like fucking doom.
I don't even know how to explain it. It sounds like doom. It just yeah, it's some gnarly shit, man. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for all that you guys have coming, because I can only imagine, just given how excited you are for it, just the sheer brutality that's going to be coming down the line, knowing that you guys are all really collaborating on it. Like, just, it makes me excited, man. It really does. I can't wait. And we'll definitely have to link up again because I would love to have you on with Allie at some point, because I would love to get Allie on here.
Yeah, because obviously, like you were saying, right, you and Allie go way back. So, you know, last time we did a Seagrave episode, it was me and Stiv. So I think the next one will have to be me and Allie.
Or we'll just have Stiv on too, like whatever.
I mean, we can do a full band one. Yeah,
we'll just. I was about to. We'll just have everybody on. We'll just all get together and just have a.
For sure,
have a couple of pops. You know, it'll be a good time.
But yeah, man. So you know, for anybody listening, so that was Onslaught. It'll be out Monday, January 16th, anywhere that you stream your music. We are playing our first hometown show. So if you're in the Oshawa area, come to the Atria January 21st. We go on around 11, but I mean, show up for the whole show, support your local scene. And yeah, you're going to have a lot more from us soon. We have a few more shows booked for the year that we haven't quite announced yet. Taking us till kind of early spring. And then we'll be taking a bit of a break to do some more recording. So we also got tons of merch. We got shirts, we got sweatpants, we got hoodies. Hit us up on any of our socials, Seagrave 905 on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook. And yeah, just follow us everywhere, please. We post good content, I promise.
Not only are you getting fantastic music to murder people to, but you're also getting fantastic TikTok content. Chris, brother, it's always a pleasure. I'm so glad we were able to do this. Thank you so much again for being a part of this with me and allowing me the joy of being the first place that people are able to come hear this. And big shout outs to everybody else in the Seagrave family. I appreciate all y'all, and we'll definitely talk again soon, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks again, man. Thanks for having us for the first listen ever. It's an honor.
All right, folks, there you have it. Another first time here on the Hotter Show, a first exclusive listen through of a track. Big shout outs to Chris and all the homies in Seagrave for allowing me to do this and be a part of this. This was really exciting, really fun. Always enjoy talking with Chris, but also first time ever doing this. So a lot of fun. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Kind of a little bit of a different spin on a music showcase. Just talking about the single and playing it and so forth. Worldwide premiere. A lot of fun to do that. And if you're listening to this and you are not a regular listener of the Hotter Show, what's up? Hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to go back and check out some fantastic interviews I've done in the past with Chris and the guys from Seagrave. Chris is literally, as he said in the beginning there, one of my most frequent guests for a reason. I have a lot of fun music content. And actually next week, we're going to be doing the best of 2022 music showcase. So a lot of badass bands are going to be on that. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. I very much appreciate it. You can also follow me on social media under The Hotter Show. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also contact me anytime at thehottershow@gmail.com. If you would like to support this podcast a little more, consider joining the Hotter Show Patreon. You get exclusive content, including an exclusive Patreon-only horror narration podcast that I do on there and have so much fun doing, and it's very well received from my patrons. You get it by joining at the $5 or above tier. But even at the $1 a month tier, you're helping the show, and you also get access to exclusive stuff like the exclusive Discord server for the patrons. We also just have a Discord for everybody. So if you're in the Discord, let me know. Hit me up on there if you would like to join. And of course, you get an exclusive shout out at the end of every single episode of the show, even if it's a unique episode like this, kind of a special presentation, first time thing. I would be remiss not to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters, my hardheads. We, of course, have Scott, Ronan Komori of Baseline Feed, Wolf Delta Pi, a.k.a. Tanner Wood of Baseline Feed, Eric Phones, Arthur Unk, Mike Quintero of Shutter Radio, CM Peters of Baseline Feed, Jason Reese of Jaybird Digital Arts, Terry and Janet Hodder, Brandon Bowden of Bowden Voice, and Neil Skarupa. Thank you so very much to all of my Patreon supporters. I seriously appreciate it. And thank you so very much again for listening. Again, if you're a first-time listener of this show, this is the kind of content I like to do. More a little long-form interviewing. We also usually like to talk about some different things aside from just the music. I'll get into have fun tangents and stuff like that. So consider checking out some past content. Thank you so very much. And hopefully, if you're a new listener, I will catch you another time. And for everyone else, I'll catch you next time right here on The Harder Show. Take it easy, guys.